You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Tonight, a lot developing in the state of Montana, including this. Governor Steve Bullock was in a Great Falls courtroom today as the state of Montana suing the IRS over dark money concerns. Plus, as plowing on the Going to the Sun Road is almost complete, we're taking a look back at the career of a man who made plowing possible for 26 years. But first, the latest on a violent threat made against Belgrade schools, which sparked a massive response by staff and police. Alarming new details tonight over this threat, which placed schools in lockdown and left parents with questions. Tonight, we're learning the threat was so severe, 4 students involved in the threat could be tried as adults. And also tonight, we're learning an adult was also involved. MTN's Cody Boyer has the latest.
That's right, Andrea. Belgrade police, as well as the Belgrade superintendent Godfrey Saunders, both say this was a situation that deserved every precaution taken and necessary. It started with the video, which led investigators to a nearby home, and according to court documents, 4 students, an 18-year-old David Oster.
This is real stuff. When you start playing with real weapons, that crosses the line.
The video shows 4 high school students taunting a named list of other students and swearing from a home near Belgrade High School. At one point, you can see one student holding a handgun. This all happened during the students' lunchtime.
9 minutes later, after getting back from lunch, the administration called law enforcement and got them involved.
Superintendent Saunders says 20 students saw the video and brought it to the school's attention.
There are some kids, 20 kids, who knew that this was over the line, that this was too far.
That led police back to the house where they found Oster, who wasn't there when the video was filmed. Gallatin County deputies say at first Oster lied about the gun's location, but eventually showed police that it was hidden in a portable toilet nearby. The students told investigators it was either his or it belonged to someone else living there.
Anytime you have an incident that involves a firearm, then you have to make some quick decisions about, is it just one firearm? Are there more firearms out there?
From the discovery to law enforcement's involvement, Saunders says that took 9 minutes total.
Truly, it was a matter of minutes, and then from that point on, it was a matter of making decisions as to what to do next.
Which was protecting all students immediately.
The students whose names were on that video, where are they? Where are the students who were involved with producing the video?
Superintendent Saunders says student safety obviously was and always is key. That's why the principal says all the teachers and other staff here at the high school have radios for quick communication.
During a shelter-in-place like this, we're able to communicate with them real-time information.
Saunders says you may have freedom of choice, but not freedom of consequence, something he hopes his students take to heart.
The greatest gift that they can give anyone is to help take care of each other and themselves. That's precious.
Now, I did speak with the county attorney, who also says the process is still in its early stages to see if the 4 kids will be possibly tried as adults in this case. As for Oster, his bail was set at $250,000. In Belgrade, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
All right, Cody, thanks for an update on that. As concerns over tariffs loom, Mexico continues to be a growing market for Montana farmers and the entire U.S. wheat industry. Leaders from the U.S. and Mexico met in Cancun for a special wheat trade conference, and it was hosted by the U.S. Wheat Associates. Those at the conference say they're hopeful a new trade agreement between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada will be reached.
So we have a long history of getting wheat from Kansas, northern Oklahoma, and Texas. And it's a relationship we cherish a lot. We've been doing business from a long time before, and we're looking forward to uphold that for years to come.
Both American and Mexican wheat leaders say they'll keep channels of communication open to ensure the relationship continues into the future. As Governor Steve Bullock fights dark money on the presidential campaign trail, he is again taking the fight to court this time, suing the IRS. Along with the Montana Department of Revenue and the state of New Jersey, the governor says the IRS ended a decades-old requirement forcing social welfare groups, labor unions, and businesses to disclose major campaign donors. The Washington Post says the case was heard today in Great Falls Federal Court. Bullock says the rule change undermines democracy. The IRS says states don't have the authority to challenge federal policies. Now the case is in the hands of a judge, and we'll let you know when that ruling comes down. A Roundup man dubbed the AK-47 bandit will spend the next 35 years in prison for an armed robbery at a Nebraska bank. 40-year-old Richard Gathercole stole $90,000 in 2014 in a robbery. As part of a plea agreement, federal prosecutors say that several states agreed to drop charges that stem all the way back from 2012, and he's going to pay $400,000 in fines. Police found explosives, ammunition, and books on how to build bombs at his home in Roundup, Montana. He used an AK-47 in his series of robberies. Helena police say increased usage of social media is why you might be seeing more reported cases of missing children and runaway teens. Officials say Helena sees 92 cases of missing or runaway teens every single year, but Helena police say there hasn't actually been an uptick in those cases. Now, though, they are using social media to get the word out about missing persons cases, hoping the media will help them as well.
The whole thing kind of came up. We've been using our Facebook page, mostly our Facebook page, to do the publicity on those. And, you know, I'm the one that wrote the kind of the response after we started getting some of the public comments on there about, well, there seems to be a lot of them in that. And like I said in that post too, is that I don't think there's a huge increase, but I think it's the public nature of it.
And if you are wondering, Helena Police does get permission from parents before posting a child's picture and information online. Questions remain tonight as a lack of funding is forcing the Women's Gallatin County Alcohol and Drug Services home to close. The closure is due to a lack of funding and cuts that were made in the 2017 Montana legislature. The home can house up to 7 women. Only 4 remain in that house, though. Now they're going to have to find somewhere else to go. One recovering addict tells us the home is essential.
Home is vital. We need it. The women need it. You want to see the criminal behavior go down? Let's get these addicts in recovery.
And officials say the decision to close the women's recovery home is final, while the men's home remains open because that is funded with outside dollars. Helena has decided to remove a large number of trees due to a rise in a devastating bug that lingers in green ash trees. Right now, there's a nationwide rise in emerald ash borer bugs. The bugs kill the green ash trees, and there are more than 6,000 of those trees in Helena. Crews now will focus on taking out the unhealthy trees.
We'll be targeting trees that, would be targeted for removal anyways. Trees with a higher than acceptable level of risk. Trees that are already dead or in decline or otherwise defective. So it's not just a slash and burn program.
And the green ash trees will be replaced with another variety. The city says it's not a matter of if, but when the emerald ash borer bugs make their way to the Helena area. New information tonight as plow crews make it to Logan Pass and Glacier National Park, but not so fast. The Going to the Sun Road, it's not open quite yet. Tonight, MTN's Marin Sue brings us the story of a park employee who's saying goodbye after 26 years on the plow job.
For most of us, driving Going to the Sun Road is iconic and awe-inspiring, and that doesn't go away if you work here every single day. For one park employee, this year is his last year working on the iconic Going to the Sun Road.
I'm going to miss working with the guys and all the people in the park service, and especially the scenery and the wildlife, but I won't know how bad I'll miss it probably until about 6 months later.
Stan Starr has supervised road crews in Glacier National Park since 1993. Working in this park for 26 years, Starr says his crew is like family.
We get to know people, that work here really close, and, all their fun and all the tragedies and stuff that happens.
Plowing this road at over 6,000 elevation with strong wind and snow comes with its challenges. Eric Peitsch with the U.S. Geological Survey tells me how he prepares plow crews for these dangers.
We go through rescue scenarios because, to be honest, they're up here, and then us avalanche forecasters are up here, but we're basically the ones, us and them are the ones that are going to perform a rescue if necessary.
Peitsch says this year saw average avalanche activity. early. While the road is free of snow, crews still have a lot of work to do. The visitor center is still buried under snow and guardrail crews are only a third of the way up the road. But for now, Star is enjoying his last month in the park. Star tells me that his last day in the park will be June 21st. In Glacier National Park, Marin Sue, MTN News.
And it's nice to see the road cleared, but still so much snow up there, as Marin showed us in that story. The park expects the Going to the Sun Road to open sometime after June 22nd. There are some closures in Yellowstone National Park to tell you about tonight due to trail work. Starting in August, the Mount Washburn Trail and parking lot at Dunraven Pass will close for work. The park says large logs that hold up the trail have deteriorated, and crews will rig cables up to replace the log cribs, and they'll use the help of a helicopter. Despite the work, you'll be able to get to the top of the mountain. You'll just have to use an alternative route for a while. And still to come on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news, it's just 6 hours away. Thousands of people gathering at Normandy to see what the 75th anniversary of D-Day is going to entail. And we continue our look at the trip of Miss Montana. It's coming up. But first, Bob, he's got a look at the weather.
We could see some severe thunderstorms tomorrow across western Montana, but we're looking at the chance for snow all the way down to the surface out west. Join us in a few more minutes.